I, Kofi Annan.
I, Kofi Annan.
Kofi Annan was the 7th Secretary General in United Nations history.
Good morning. As you know, this is my first day. It's like first day in school.
Annan received quite an education, serving 10 years at the helm of the United Nations. There were personal highs and lows. From winning the Nobel Peace Prize to failing his fight to stop the U.S. invasion of Iraq. Born in Ghana, Annan's university schooling included the Big Chill of Minnesota at Macalester College. Kofi Annan spent most of his adult life with the UN.
Okay, now we go to work.
The man who many simply called Kofi rose to the top after over half a century. Staffers recalled his ability to lead and inspire. Annan did manage to avoid potential career-ending moments while serving in the Department of Peacekeeping. In 1994, the UN Security Council and others, including Annan, were accused by the UN field commander in Rwanda of ignoring his warnings. An estimated 800,000 people died as the world was reluctant to send troops in.
I believed at that time that I was doing my best. But I realized after the genocide that there was more that I could and should have done.
The next year, thousands of Muslims were massacred in Srebrenica as Bosnian Serbs overran a UN safe zone. Annan would later say Rwanda and Srebrenica would shape his global thinking. The Secretary General at the time, Boutros Boutros-Ghali, would take the heat. U.S. Ambassador Madeleine Albright would block him for a second term as Secretary General. Washington's candidate, Kofi Annan.
I didn't have any such dreams, and it had never happened that somebody from the system was elected Secretary General.
Annan's first term was highly rated. He championed human rights and urged the UN to protect civilians if their own governments turned on them. But it was Annan whose charm and style elevated him to international rock star status. The man and the organization accepted the Nobel Peace Prize in 2001, months after 9/11.
We have entered the third millennium through a gate of fire.
It would not be a smooth second term for Annan. Friends of Annan reported he appeared depressed and distant, unable to stop the U.S. invasion of Iraq. He later called the assault illegal.
I think the worst moments, of course, was the Iraq War, which as an organization we couldn't stop, and I really did everything I can to try to see if we can stop it.
Personal nightmare when a suicide truck bomb killed UN Iraq envoy Sergio Vieto de Mello and many UN personnel sent to Baghdad by Annan.
So you can imagine shock when that brutal death of my friends and colleagues happened.
Iraq brought more bad news for Annan. The so-called oil for food UN agreement with Iraq led to corruption. A report later cleared Annan, but his son Kojo was linked to the scandal. The reserved Annan erupted when a reporter pressed him about a mysterious Mercedes tied to his son.
You've been behaving like an overgrown schoolboy in this room for many, many months and years. You are an embarrassment to your colleagues and to your profession.
A warmer engagement on his final day when Annan drew a standing ovation in the General Assembly. He never stopped working for the goals of the global organization Annan spent a lifetime in, a life and career fueled by tragedies and triumphs.